Hi there, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Vice President of Solution Strategy here at Regalix, and I want to thank everyone out there for joining us today. I'm thrilled to have as my guest today an entrepreneur and the CEO of regalix.com and Regalix TV and all that, and my boss, Vikas Sharan. Thanks for joining us, Vikas.
Glad to be here, Kevin.
Now, this is a thrill for me because, we've interviewed dozens and dozens of executives, but never our own. So this is a lot of fun for us. Now, Vikas, let's just start out by saying, coming up here in the next week or two, on October 4, it's our Founders Day here at Regalix. Talk to us about that.
Yes, we started, only seems yesterday for me, 4th of October 2004. When we got a very, very small team together with high ambitions and a conviction that we will create something of value, and we started.
All right.
We started building a digital search agency, and these were the early days where Google pay-performance models were emerging, and we took a very big bet on that trend. And over the years, we've evolved. We rode the social media trend, the mobile trend, and continued to learn and evolve as the industry kept evolving. At times, even in a yearly basis,
yes,
as the industry morphed.
So how have we changed over those years? We started as digital agency, and what did we learn?
We started as a digital search agency. It was even more finite than a broader digital agency.
Okay.
What our first learning was if you want to support growth, you cannot think of this as just one channel view. It is not only about search, it's not only about social media, it's not only, you have to look at the marketing problem as a problem in itself. So our first evolution was, how do you start looking at the marketing problem as a problem and not narrow yourself into one sliver or one slice of a campaign problem?
Okay.
So that was our first key learning. And that opened us up into looking at becoming true partners with our customers and advising them on their customer acquisition strategy overall.
Okay.
Not just one channel of how to acquire customers online. And as we continue to learn from this experience, we realized that just stopping at acquisition was not what our customers were looking at. They wanted to understand how the customers stayed with them, how they grew with them, and how they could maximize the share of wallet from their customers. And that got us into post-sales part of the equation.
Okay.
Where we started partnering with brands like Google and others to take care of onboarding customers as they got acquired, setting them up correctly to succeed with our customers' products or solutions, and then partner with our clients' customers to on the customer success journey, and take them through renewals, through upsell, cross-sell, the entire life cycle on the revenue side of the equation. And that was a significant learning for us over the years. And we have, in some ways, started looking at the entire customer journey, right from awareness to renewals, upsell, cross-sell as our value proposition.
Wow, so that expanded way beyond just somebody that's focused on marketing, because especially in the subscription economy, people are subscribing on an annual basis, so they're coming back and they need to be sold to again.
Absolutely.
They need to have justification for continuing the relationship and moving forward. So that means they have to be happy every day of the year.
Absolutely, and it is very expensive to acquire a customer. And if you have to acquire the customer 3 times over, then you're spending 3 times the cost of your acquisition. It's much easier to keep them happy and spend a little more trying to make them successful so that they stay on and become lifetime customers.
There you go. Started marketing, and now marketing never stops. It goes end to end. You even have to market the services, the customer service that you provided throughout the year, and every part or aspect of the customer experience goes into the sales process, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You have to sell to the customer every single day, every single interaction, every single touch point, and that experience has to be extremely high quality, extremely valuable to the customer themselves.
So Vikas, talk to us about how you've seen sales and marketing and the whole customer experience and customer journey, if you would. How has that changed in the last 5 years, given this massive influx of data out there, and yet the increased attention to data privacy? So how have you seen things change as an expert in the field?
You're asking multiple questions. One is how the marketing and sales overall is beginning to be more data-driven. That's one part of the question. And the second part of the question is how does data privacy, and given what we are seeing with GDPR and others, affect the entire way you consume data for more efficient marketing and sales. So let me answer the first question. There has always been a lot of data. Even when digital wasn't around, companies like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble of the world were very data-driven in their campaigns, in their marketing and sales operations globally. And that discipline, with digital coming in place, became a little more real-time, and the processing became more, and the response became, at least the promise of response became real-time. The first generation of marketing tech focused on automating processes or automating functions that would have taken a long time to do. So for example, to upload a whole set of new keywords or to change bids across thousands or millions of keywords through efficiency tools became easier. So it was really productivity driven.
Okay.
The second phase, people started looking at rote tasks and say, okay, my campaigns don't need to spend a lot in the middle of the night or whatever, whether it's a day parting issue or something else. So tools started automating a lot of rote tasks, which people had to go in and switch on, switch off, reduce bids, or if it's a different context, something else. And that part of the process, you started building some rules-based models. So that was the second phase. The third phase, where people are really beginning to leverage machine learning and data patterns to make real-time changes to their operations. Companies like Criteo and a whole bunch of others are playing in that bucket, have started emerging. And there's a lot of promise in what these data-driven model-based companies are doing. And this is something that we would see become more mainstream and almost expected out of large-scale campaigns now. Whether it is you're looking at the front-end part of marketing, or you're looking at sales operations, where companies that are working with hundreds of thousands and millions of customers, and what they need to do in their sales or customer success operations will all become very predictive and data-driven.
Wow, I know. Last week I was downloading some images to use in a presentation, and the second I left Shutterstock, I went over and did a Google search, and Shutterstock already had my photos embedded. The photos I was looking at were already embedded in all the other websites I was going to. So this is instantaneous. This is speed. This is a ad tech network that allows for whatever context or whatever action was happening here within seconds is proliferated around the globe at all these other websites. That's powerful.
It is, and personalization is a key way of reaching out and connecting with customers, where the context carries over. And there'll be a lot more sophistication that comes in, so that it not only follows you around what you have looked at, but starts predicting what your intent might have been, and start prompting you. For example, you're looking for images of elephants for whatever reason, and you've looked at a few. It starts predicting what you might be interested in, and maybe it's a dancing elephant or a flying elephant or something else, and it predicts that is what your intent would be. And that's the next phase of evolution. So you don't only see the images that you had searched for earlier and looked at, but you start, the engine predicts that this must have been your intent and shows you something different, that you say, that's exactly what I was looking for.
So you have to have the right networks, the right integration, the right algorithms to support that instantaneous personalization and contextual relevance of anything that you're showing me. That represents a lot of back-end work, doesn't it?
It does. And that is where technology has evolved to a point where big data marts are in play, and we can make all this happen. So technology, it is all possible to do. It's really the imagination of marketers at this stage to figure out what they really want to do, and micro experiments to understand whether that hypothesis is working or not.
Vikas, talk to us about Regalix.
Sure.
So what does Regalix, in the middle of all this digital transformation that our customers are going through right now, this proliferation of data, this just everything that's happening, what kinds of services is Regalix bringing to the market?
So what Regalix is doing today is morphing into a consulting-led organization where we go into large corporations, large enterprises, where they're looking at billions of dollars of revenue impacting problems, and we understand what strategy would create a difference and meaningful impact at that stage, at that level for these organizations, then rolling up our sleeves and operating to that strategy in a business model that is risk and reward sharing, and we execute to that. The theme that is emerging for us is collecting digital transformation tools, technologies, strategies with scaled operations, marrying the two into a hub, and supporting the execution, often through a freelance economy based model or other models, to create at scale effect for our customers. For example, working with brands like Googles of the world, we are impacting significant revenues for them, working through the long tail of their millions of customers that are spending very, very small or maybe moderate amount of ad dollars with them, and bringing in a lot of sophistication both on the people process side, but also from tools and technology side to start predicting what these advertisers need to do next, and making that happen for Google's advertisers, resulting in significant revenues that Google is able to generate from otherwise a portfolio that has very high churn, low product usage, etc., classic problems of the long tail onboarding.
So Vikas, when we talk about digital transformation, or we think about the scope of digital transformation across most companies out there, and we look at all the different parts of the business and their IT departments and supply chain and all that, seems to me sales and marketing are one of the areas of the business most impacted by digital transformation. I mean, the customers are increasingly moving online, becoming digital customers. Payments are increasingly moving into mobile spaces and other things. So talk to me about how you've seen a change in the way companies sell products and market products as a result of digital transformation.
The obvious answer to your question, Kevin, is a lot of transactions is moving online, even in the traditional enterprise sales led models, where the touch and feel or shaking the hand was important. While that still continues to be important, a lot of the transactional details are moving online. For example, 20, 30 years ago, you bought a ticket, flew down to Atlanta, shook hands with the customer, and sent them letters. Today, it's all email documents that you share. You may still fly down to Atlanta and shake hands today, but a lot of the interactions are digital with the customers. And this is something that we had seen in other parts of the process. For example, supply chain and other back-end process, manufacturing process. A lot of those processes were the first set of processes that digital transformation touched and moved to essentially being digital versus tracking on paper, spreadsheets, or whatever was the traditional model of doing it. And that brought in significant efficiencies for companies. It's only natural that the momentum now continues into sales and marketing. The marketing and sales traditionally has been considered a little more creative as an area or a domain where it is not just facts, numbers, figures, process efficiency, bottlenecks, those kind of situations. A lot of those traditional models are now being applied to sales and marketing. And we are seeing some very good returns on customers that are adopting this as digital first strategy versus just an incremental add-on to their current processes. And at times, businesses that are taking too long to adopt a digital first strategy, we are beginning to see other players come in and rapidly start disrupting that marketplace.
Very good. So there's things out there called account-based marketing, account-based sales, the proliferation of data and available data on all these make it easier to kind of support those models. Do you see that out there, and what's your thoughts on that?
I do. And when I was saying that younger companies that come in and take over giant market share from a traditional industry or incumbent, they are able to do that because they deploy tools like account-based marketing, where traditionally, if human bandwidth allowed you to reach out to 10 prospects or 20 prospects, you can now reach out to 200, 2,000. And the efficiency of one salesperson expands significantly, and the productivity changes dramatically. And this is what the sophistication of targeting, sophistication of data-led marketing models allow you to do. And companies that really look at this, understand this, and are able to garner this, continue to hold on to their market share. And younger companies, for them, it's an opportunity. It becomes a level playing field where you can suddenly grow very, very rapidly to become dominant players in that market, often taking major market share away from traditional established businesses.
Okay, well, Vikas, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your expertise with us. So much has changed in this field. So again, thank you for sharing all your insights with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. This was fun. I look forward to doing a lot of this going forward.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.